Hey everyone, just gonna clear the space. Can everyone, can you see?
Yep.
Is it on? Okay. Can everyone hear the music or do I need to turn it up? Can they talk?
Yeah, they can give a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Do I need to turn the music up or down? Is it okay or up?
Can you hear the music? Good. It's good.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. It looks like there's someone chatting. It's hard for me.
Oh, Sean said don't turn it up. It's perfect.
Okay, cool. Kimberly, it has it where you were my focal point. I love that. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
You look beautiful. Good morning, everyone. Actually, good afternoon. It's good morning for me because since this quarantine, I've been sleeping till like 10, 11 a.m. David's like, we need a schedule. We need to wake up at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And I'm like, please, I am enjoying this. So anyway, okay, so we're just going to do something simple like I did last time. Something that you can do easy breezy anytime that you need to, anywhere that you are. Just something to really ground yourself, connect yourself, and align yourself. And you know, something that someone that I highly resonate with told me, and it's something I'd never done before in the past, was before he does other people's meditations, he will invoke his higher self. So he'll just be like, and then you just like, I, Megan, invoke my higher self, right? To take over, to connect. You know, I give that permission, but to only take what resonates with me and what's going to work for my highest good and the highest good for all. And anything that I don't resonate with, I leave it here. So just know this is a basic, just more so breathing and enveloping the light, right? And then grounding yourself in the earth. So there's not going to be a whole lot of stuff that you're going to have to repeat, like affirmation-wise with this one. But just something that I wanted to share with you guys. If you feel called to do that today and going forward, then definitely do that. All right. So make sure you're really comfy, okay? You could be laying down. You can be sitting on the floor. You can be sitting in a chair. If you're in a chair, then I want your feet flat on the ground. It's great for grounding. And then I want you to make sure that your spine is up straight. Your chin just subtly, slightly down. And then just start rolling your neck, rolling your shoulder. Just get really comfy and cozy where you are. And if you want to take a big, deep stretch, then absolutely do that. Not yet. If you want to take a stretch over your arms. And then get into your place, your position. And I want you to raise your shoulders up towards your chin and then roll them all the way down your back. And then palms facing down for grounding. And if you feel like you need to receive energy today, palms facing up, okay? And then I want everyone to take a nice long deep breath in through the nose. Hold the breath at the top. And sigh it out. And when you're ready, just softly close your eyes and try to do that very gradually. If you've already shut your eyes, no problem. But don't rush it. Just, even if you just have to keep squinting until they eventually close. And I want you to imagine, that you can start it, that there's a tube, a straw at the crown of your head, and it's going up into the heavens. And then I want you to imagine that there's an imaginary cord rope at the root, at the base of your spine, and it's going all the way down through the ground, down into the center of Mother Earth. And I want you to imagine, if you're not a good visualizationer, then just know this to be true, just feel it, that there is this golden white light from the Creator beaming down from the heavens. And this is the energy and the frequency of truth, of peace, of healing, of clarity, of abundance, of unconditional love. And as you breathe in through the nose, that tube opens up and allows all that healing, loving light from the divine to enter the crown of your head. So we're all throughout your face, all behind your eye sockets, completely letting that space go. And that light energy is just going all the way down your body from the tip of your head down to your tippy toes. And then you hold the breath. And now allow that golden light energy to flow all throughout your energetic body that is 6 feet above you, below you, all around you. And now open your mouth and fully exhale and release any heavy energy, anything dense that doesn't serve you. Let it go now down that cord, down to the ground, down into the center of Mother Earth. Breathe in the light. Fill your physical body up with light. Hold the breath. Fill your energetic body up with light, sealing any hole or cracks from any traumas that you have been through. And then open the mouth and release. If you need to visualize the energy being gray or black, then do so. You're letting all of that stuff go because it doesn't belong to you. And you leave it to Mother Earth to do beautiful things with it. Breathe in that light. Fill yourself up with light. Hold the breath. Fill your energetic body up with light. It's as if you're sitting in the center of a golden white beach ball. And then open your mouth and release anything stagnant or heavy. You are letting that go down to the earth. Allow Mother Earth to take your heavy energy that does not serve you and allow her to do beautiful things with it. To grow beautiful plants, trees, flowers. Breathe in. Fill yourself up with light, the divine energy of healing and peace, and then hold the breath. Fill your energetic body up with the light of truth, of healing, of clarity, of unconditional love, of abundance and flow. And then open your mouth and fully exhale. Release anything else that is remaining that does not serve you. Breathe in. Fill yourself up. Fill your own cup up first. Fill your energetic body up. And now any else that's left that doesn't serve you, now is the time to let that go. Down that cord, down to the ground, down, down, down to the center of Mother Earth. Now this time as you breathe in, you fill yourself up with the light. You fill your energetic self up with the light. And then when you open your mouth, you breathe out that light energy back into the atmosphere, allowing it to swirl into the streets and to come into contact with any person that needs to be touched with love and light. Breathe in. Fill your physical body up with light. Fill your energetic body up with light. And breathe out light back into the world. Now, imagine yourself, just see yourself in the center of this golden, healing, loving light of the divine creator. You're enveloped in this sphere of light. You're divinely protected and connected. And watch that light expand. Watch it expand out further into the entire space that you're in, the entire room that you're in. Now watch that light expand further into the entire home, the entire building. And watch it spill into the neighborhood, your town, your city. That loving, healing light of the divine is expanding throughout your entire state. The entire country, earth. Imagine this beautiful, loving, divine, healing light and loving energy just raining down on the earth, enveloping the entire world, the entire universe. Breathe in. Let it go. Breathe out. More breaths. Breathe in. You are safe. You are powerful. You are connected. You are in perfect alignment and you are grounded. And I want you to feel and think, what is your intention for the remaining of your day? I want you to imagine that, visualize it, see it. Now, breathe that intention in through your nose. Hold the breath. Feel it, feel it, feel it, and sigh it out. And start rolling your neck, wiggle your toes, roll your wrists, your ankles. Maybe take a good stretch. And when you're ready, just as slowly as you shut your eyes, slowly open your eyes and smile. And know that today is an amazing day. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. And I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys today. Namaste.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. That was awesome. That is who I literally learn from every single day, still to this day after years. So thank you very much for that.
Don't forget it.
I'm humble. All right, let me get this going for everyone. I'm so excited. We have so many people here with us. That's so everyone here is such like a unique light and brings such a unique light to the table. I'm very excited. Huh?
Facebook Live on, don't need to be checking that.
No.
Okay.
No, Sean's working on it. But I don't think this time. We may just save it and post after.
That's cool.
Awesome. So there we go. Let me see if I can set this up right for us. Can you see us both there?
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Got that camera working. Awesome.
Yeah.
You have just inspired me so much with your story that I am waiting for a call today with an interview with a ketamine clinic. So.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
So for those of you that aren't aware, Daniel, if you don't mind us saying a little bit,
No, go ahead.
You tell us what you struggled with and with the ketamine, how it came into fruition, so everyone understands what she's talking about.
Oh, okay. I suffered with severe depression for over 3 years. Constant suicidal thoughts, wanting to die every day. No medication worked. It was treatment-resistant depression. And one day my mom said to me, why don't you go outside of Lansing instead of just focusing on Lansing? So I researched it and I found a place in Grand Rapids, which is like 40 minutes from here. And I ended up doing 2 infusions and now I'm on ketamine spray.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to do 4 more infusions coming up once they lift the stay-at-home order.
How's the experience?
The experience is amazing. For the first time in 3 years, I feel happy. I can feel happiness. I can feel joy.
You have body pain, right? Like your back pain and stuff went away?
My back pain is gone. Yes. Yep. Completely gone.
I'm so happy for you because I know what that's like, and I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, it's been such a blessing. It's amazing.
That's awesome, man. And I wanted to give a little context there when Megan jumped in because she got so much healing from ayahuasca, but there's still, I mean, the amount of trauma that she's been through is kind of
I mean,
so
I only did 2 ceremonies, so I definitely could benefit from more. I don't know if I want to just yet.
So Laura asked, how do you spell ketamine? I'm putting it on there for everyone. Ketamine. There's so much incredible research, totally off topic here, but it's so much incredible research. And we've interviewed Michael Zappi, all these interesting messages coming to us about ketamine and the future of it and the potential of how, because it's the only substance that's been known to scientifically create new neural pathways and heal damaged ones. So it's really interesting. So we're excited.
You know what I do want to say though, while we're on this topic of healing, well, obviously we're on this topic of healing, but Laura, who is on the call that he was just mentioning, last time we talked about this and then our Zoom didn't record, so we couldn't send it out to anyone. So I did want to just give a little refresher on her, because she was on our podcast as well. And she's been a godsend for my life. Talk about back pain. If you have any kind of pain, she can work on you remotely. And I'm telling you, like, you can be like not being able to walk at like a pain's level 1 to 10 and you're at 20, you will feel amazing. And you could like hop, skip and jump. And
it's remote work, which is mind-blowing.
She can do it remotely and everything. And she lives here in Austin, but I did want to just give her a shout out, because she's been helping me a lot during this quarantine. I've had a lot of past stuff kind of start popping up, you know, and feeling stuff in my body where I have to like go and process things again, you know, and she's been really a godsend for me. So I definitely want to give her a shout out. Anyone that has any type of like body pain, maybe they can't get to a ketamine clinic, you know, if you want to know her information, I highly recommend her. She heals on like an intuitive level as well. And I mean, she's amazing.
So on that note, we are all this kind of ties into what we're talking about today, and we're going to record this and send it to every one of you, so you have it for yourself as well. But it's the journey to inner peace, and I personally asked 2 people to be on here, and I want to welcome them, Kimberly Knitti and Joel Valdivez. Joel's actually been on our podcast. He's had some incredible healing experiences with Mother Ayahuasca, been through trauma of different kinds, and really incredible, insightful, motivational person. And Kimberly is someone that it's hard
She's
to even.
She's a boss, babe. She's amazing.
Like, not only that,
You're both amazing.
Super intuitive, super in line with all of this, super in line with this movement that's happening. So both of their insights, I welcome so much.
And I highly recommend following Joel on Facebook. His videos are amazing, and Instagram. Sorry, Instagram too.
But awesome. So what we're talking about, everyone, is the journey to inner peace. Okay. Oh, look at the little one on here. Laura's baby's on here. That's awesome. What a little
Daniel,
doll.
I'm drinking my celery juice.
That's right.
Oh, good.
But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. So the journey to inner peace, there's a few topics I have, and we'll discuss them, and then we want to open it up to hear y'all's thoughts on it. But I want to start out with kind of a foundational word of, this is a bit of a never-ending journey. This isn't like a magic pill. There's no certain recipe for inner peace. This is something the best of us have to still put up systems every day. Look, the best.
Especially if you're an empath.
Yeah, especially if you're an empath. And I strongly, every single one of you on here are empathic. So this is ironic. But yeah, especially if you're empathic, because you're just so, you have this gift some days maybe not so much, but it's always a gift of feeling other people on such a level. So other people you can click with and it'll raise you up, but the other thing can happen too. So you got to protect yourself. And this journey to inner peace for anybody, it's so important not to judge yourself and know you're not just going to get to a place and you're forever peaceful. Okay. So don't judge yourself if you're not there. Even as we're in this stage of evolution and ascension and all this really cool stuff that's happening within us, we're all evolving. Don't expect that you need to be somewhere yet that you're not. Every one of you.
But you can find peace.
Yeah.
Like you can.
Oh,
a great way of doing it is every day, like consistently saying, I am at peace. I'm at peace.
Yeah.
I'm at peace.
So that's,
we're going to suffering.
That's exactly right. And we're going to talk about a few of those ways to do that too, because you can find inner peace and you get better and better at it each time. Okay. So the first topic we were going to talk about, which is a kind of a Maegan specialty, is feel it to heal it. So this concept of, because there's multiple things that can hold you back from inner peace, right? The first one, that was, you can, and we'll talk about routines and we'll talk about judgment, all that. But before even that, there's this epidemic of holding in suppressed trauma. And affirmations are powerful, don't get me wrong. Right. But if you hold,
so far.
Yeah, they get you so, but if you hold stuff in and you don't go back to feel those experiences.
But sometimes you don't even realize that you've held them in. I just thought, I'm okay, and I moved on, I'm strong, like, I'm a survivor, a warrior, but man, like sometimes you don't even realize that you have suppressed trauma.
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
you attach yourself to the experience, you identify with it as if you are that experience. When it was just an experience, it's not who you are.
Right. It's just a story.
It's just a story.
Right. Absolutely.
That's awesome. But when she went back to ayahuasca and faced and felt all of that, and it all came up, and she processed all of that, while there's still, some work to be done, there was so much that was
I have so many different traumas though.
Right.
So like I should not, that's having very high expectations to think just, I got a lot of healing, and I've been searching for healing for over 30 years, like not exaggerating. Literally I've been dealing with physical sickness and just emotional stuff, like almost my whole life, literally. Yeah. And it's just been in the past year that I've actually started to truly find healing. I would say the past 6 years, I got my mindset fixed. I learned law of attraction. So I got successful in my career and things of that nature. But as far as healing, that has literally just started occurring in this past year.
Yep.
And like he said, ayahuasca gave me so much healing. It got rid of my PTSD, and there was this darkness. I was a nice, loving person, but there was this darkness that was in me from, being abused and all these things. And it healed so much. But again, there's so many, it's like an onion layer. You have to peel the layers. And I've only I got the surface level. I got great results with it, but there's still a lot more that I have to do. And that's one thing that I do want to mention, what my friend Dr. Laura, who's on here with her baby, did for me. Because it is, like he said, it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. And yes, you can get better and better and better. And that's the beauty of it. There's hope. But it's not okay, I have 30 years of trauma and just in one night it's gone. I mean, no, a lot of it is gone. But Laura helped me out a lot, even though I do this line of work. I consider myself, I'm a life coach, but I work with teaching other people how to heal themselves. And I still need that myself. And she was such a light for me. She had me go back. She's very intuitive, but she figured out actually herself intuitively, no, there's still this thing in your life, this trauma that's absolutely affecting you still, right? And she is so gifted that, because what I've done in the past is I've had to feel it in my own body and breathe into it, and feel the emotions again, whether it took me an hour, right? And then finally let it go. And I might have emotions that come up in a day or two, and then I release it. What she did is she felt my pain and all of that trauma in her body. And she was able to process it in her body and feel it literally. I had all this elbow pain that had started coming back up, and my elbow was popping, and my joints were popping out of place, and I couldn't work out. And it's been really frustrating, because I used to love working out. And and I've had this for, a while. And she literally felt it just pull out of her arm and jerked her to her side. And she's like, wow, you are 60% healed from that now. And y'all, my elbow pain has been a lot better. I had a bad fall the other night. Normally that would have just I'm so fragile this day, lately. And that would have just put me out for who knows how long, like an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And I noticed that I bounced back from that fall, really well. So it's a lifelong thing, and plant medicines are an amazing tool to facilitate your healing, but so is using, finding that right gifted intuitive healer that can guide you and work with you and do energy healing. Reiki's been huge for me myself. That's why I got certified in it. So there's all these different avenues and ways that you can find healing, but it's not going to be going to a conventional doctor. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Because it's free, so they're not.
Yeah. And Joel, I think you had something like that. If I remember right from your ayahuasca experience, you had a lot of, I'm trying to throw you out there, but you had a lot of trauma back then. You had to actually go back and face too, if I remember right from our podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, it was really in regards to my relationship. And I think now, even the position that I'm in right now, I feel like I'm starting to look at different relationships that I've had over the years. And I'm I think I victimized myself a lot. So now a lot of things are surfacing for me where I'm well, what could I have done better? What lesson was there for me to learn? But yeah, the whole relationship thing for me, I had a really strong, I'd say a twin flame relationship. And yeah, I had to heal from that. And I did that through ayahuasca. But recently some stuff came up again, and now I'm going through it again. And I would say, honestly, it's harder now. It's harder.
The fact that you can say that is, man, no, you're not alone, brother. Like, because you know what happens? We get all these expectations in our head of like, all right, I'm at this level. I'm good now. And then you're like, oh, shit, am I going back? But it's just part of the journey. It's okay. Like, you did receive healing. You did grow from where you were. It's not like this straight up path that life has of healing. That's not how it works. It's you can like be like reflective like that.
Yeah. No, and I think that it's really good that you guys said that, because like even in the message when I asked you last night, like what are we going to talk about? I feel like it is like up and down, you know, ebbs and flows. And right now I'm going through like the low part. And I was like, man, I don't know if I could come on here and talk, because I feel once you start doing this healing and once you start getting more advanced with like spirituality and stuff, you get to this point where it's almost embarrassing to go back. And, you know, and then I started telling myself, like, that's part of life. Like, I'm not always going to be perfect. I'm not always going to be like A1 on my A game. I got to just like, this is where I'm at right now. I got to own it.
Dude,
and work through it, because there's something for me to learn.
You're so authentic, dude. Authenticity is the ultimate connector, man. It really is. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate and love that you came on and say that, man, because that's hard. It would be so much easier for you to be like, no, I can't really make it, or, you know, I'm not, you know, and the embarrassment thing, there's this concept of shame, and that's such a low vibrational thing that we can get caught up in.
No, because you're a real person, and honestly, this is going to give people more hope. Because
yes.
they're like, he's real. He goes through it just like I do. It's not always perfect.
Yeah.
You know what? You're going to get better and better at like facing these trials that you go through. You really are. Like each time, and I guarantee you, plant medicine, like for me, like my physicalness, like for the first 3 months, I felt amazing. And then like after 3 months, there was little things that kind of crept back in, you know. But man, like it's something it's a journey that even though when I face something, because like you, I've been going kind of through I've been in the valley, like with my pain, with my physical body pain. And it's been depressing because I haven't been able to work out in like 4 years. And yes, I'm a thin person, but I'm like, I don't see my muscle anymore. And like, it doesn't matter if he can say, no, you look great. I know what I used to look like, and it bothers me, right?
Yeah.
And like, I've been feeling like in a funk, but it's like, I honestly handle even these funk situations way better than I did a year ago before I had ayahuasca. So I guarantee you, you're doing better than you even think.
Sorry.
We want to hear from your son too, so I want his input.
Sorry. Hey, Joel, can I say something? I just unmute myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell, exactly what Megan was saying, and we were talking about this last week, Joel, because I know how you feel when you're like, oh my God, but I've done all this healing and I am going back. Like, did I really even do the healing, right? But just to say to yourself, okay, I am human. I am living a human experience, and this is what makes me a real person, like what Megan is saying. And to me, that's because I've been working with this as well. What do I tell myself when I'm feeling down and I need to show up tomorrow for patients being 100%? And that's what I tell myself. Okay, I am human. I'm living a human experience and healing myself every day. And to me, I have found that just saying that to myself one time automatically switch something in my brain where I'm like, oh, okay, I am human. I am allowed to, you know, be brought down, to, you know, work through it again, to be back up.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes.
That is so awesome. Just this concept of like not judging yourself and get rid of these expectations and understand there's this beautiful plan for you, and you're supposed to just learn and observe and just go with that flow and know you're doing the best you can, you know? I love that. Thanks for that, Laura. So does anyone have any other comments on the feel it to heal it thing, or we want us to move to the next topic? We all good? Cool.
I have one comment.
Yeah.
So what I've learned over time is,
Hey, Kim, can you turn your volume up just a little? Is there a way to do that? I just want to make sure everyone can hear you. You're super insightful.
that's as loud as it goes.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, so what I've learned is, you know, when you do not face and feel to heal those certain things that you go through in life, they get stuck in your energetic body because it's
They do.
things that are coming. And that's that heaviness that Megan felt
That's huge.
ayahuasca ceremony, people can feel it in your body. They're like, what's this heaviness? What's this darkness? That's your traumas. That's what you haven't felt and healed yet. So you have to sit with yourself and you have to forgive that person or that situation. You have to say, I love you. Thank you for it. You helped me become stronger and a better version of myself, so you can finally heal and let go of that thing you're holding on. And as you hold on to it and don't feel it, don't face it, don't go over it, you start to get physical ails. Maybe your ankles start to hurt. Maybe you start to have, crazy things. These things come up and your body is telling you, hey, pay attention to me. I need help. You can do it. You have within you what you need to heal yourself.
Yes.
That's such an incredibly good
I have
point.
chills because I resonate with that big time.
It's
literally because it blew my mind when I started getting these. Because you get diagnosed with all these different things. I've been diagnosed with lupus, Sjogren's, rheumatoid arthritis, like all these different things. Loose ligaments, joints, like just
spiritual. It's more spiritual what it is.
Yes, but I didn't realize that until ayahuasca showed me that. But then before that, I'd been working with a shaman. It just would have taken a lot of years of it. I'd been working with a shaman where I would, like I said, go back and like to certain traumas and breathe into them for however long, feel it, and that helped so much. Where was I going with this? I had a great point. I just lost it.
Trauma breath work? Or the energetic body?
Yeah, no. But then it was like the thing that confirmed it for me is when Laura did that. Because y'all, I'm talking like debilitating pain. I was like, what? I like, why is this coming back? And why is it so bad? It's like worse than it's ever been. Like I've never experienced it this bad. Is this rheumatoid? Like what is this? Is it arthritis? Like I was freaking out. And then I was like, don't do that because I know not to do that because I know thoughts are things. And so then you have this like mind torture because it's like I know better, but like right? It's the crazy thing. But once she processed it for me, which y'all, that was the most
crazy. I was there.
Joel, you should work. Once she processed it for me and it left her arm, I have not had that pain in my body. And I'm like, no shit, this really is the deal. Like it really is trauma, and it really just manifests as sickness in your body. And people think they have all these incurable diseases, and it's like, oh my God, like it's crazy. So yes, what you're saying, 1,000,000,000%, yes.
And man, I urge every one of you talking to your groups about this, because this new world, this new age needs this exact information right here. Go ahead, Joel.
I don't know if I shared this on the podcast last time or if I did ayahuasca after the podcast. I can't remember. But my last ayahuasca ceremony, it was in December. And ayahuasca showed me that. So I had this injury in my arm right here. And I had it for about a year. I couldn't work out. I couldn't lift weights. People would always say, Joel, you're so skinny. And I got tired of hearing it, So I went in, and what ayahuasca showed me was that the reason why I hurt my arm, and it was like right here, kind of above my heart, was because when I started working out, it was the frequency that I started working out in. I started working out from a frequency of vengeance. It's because it's when I broke up with my girlfriend, or when she broke up with me, I said, I want to get buff. I'm going to earn all this money. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be sexy. And so I started from that negative frequency. And what happened was I overexerted myself because I was moving from ego, and it made me pull something in my arm. And so I couldn't actually work out. I couldn't get buff. I couldn't do anything for a year. Once I went into ayahuasca, my last ayahuasca ceremony, though, she showed me that. I let go of that. And then I just happened to run into my friend. He does like physical therapy, and he has one of those guns. They like hit your arm. Yeah. And that was on Super Bowl Sunday. Since then, like my arm's been healed. I've been working out again. I've been doing push-ups. Like this whole quarantine thing, I think my arms are bigger now than they've been in like a year. Just because I let all of that like negativeness go. So whenever I say that to say, like, if you're going to do something, make sure that it's coming from a good place. Like one of my mentors says that if you want to start working out, don't work out because you hate the way you look. Work out because you love yourself and you want the best for your body.
Oh yeah, the power of intention.
That's awesome.
Yes, and the power of frequencies. Everything that you think has a frequency. So when you're walking down the street and you see someone, you get an odd feeling, like a feeling of anger. Maybe they're thinking thoughts that are angry, and that's the frequency they're transmitting. And we're energetic beings, so scientists have been developing these tools where they can literally pick up frequencies, things that we can't see, but they're always going on. So just like Joel said, anything you do has a frequency with the intention behind it. So you have to do things with the highest frequency to get the highest outcome with which is love. Ultimately, that's what we're aiming for.
Yes.
Wow, that is, what an epiphany, Joel. I've never heard that. That's so freaking cool. Like you working out with the wrong intention.
And that's like when I cook my foods now, because like that's a
yeah.
whole other thing. Like I've been intolerant to everything, you know? So now I'm like trying to like, I don't care how crazy I look. I'm going to talk to my food. I'm going to love it. I'm going to bless it with love and light. I'm going to send Reiki to it. I'm doing the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Like I cook with intention now.
And becoming, I think the key to this too, with the Feel It to Heal It here to wrap that part up is not only just going back, but then becoming very aware. Becoming as aware, self-aware as you can. Like the self-awareness that I'm hearing from you guys is just phenomenal. I mean, you have to have such a deep level of self-awareness to realize that you injured yourself in a workout, not because of what you did, but because of the power of the intention and thought. That is such a deep, I don't even think I'm not at that level. That's incredible. That is amazing, Joel. That is so impressive, man. Please, even when you don't feel like it, please share your messages, man. Never stop sharing them because the world needs that stuff.
There's a class that we're going with my mentor. There's the whole quarantine thing happened. It's where you learn like when you have with Ricardo, when you have different things in your body like that are hurt, like he tells you like why, like the spiritual meaning of why, or like if it means something, if it's on the left side of your body versus the right side of your body, they have different meanings. You know what?
We'll see if we can get Ricardo on the next one next week, because
this guy will blow your mind.
He's the president of the Austin Metaphysical Academy. Incredible, intuitive, psychic. He married us.
I've been using him, Megan.
Oh, he's amazing, Lord.
I've been seeing him since you told me.
Oh, that's awesome. He's amazing, isn't he?
He has led me.
Yes. I've used it 2 times so far.
He is.
Yeah, he is like insanely gifted. Like he is tuned in.
I've never known such an accurate psychic in my life. It's insane.
I mean, it is insane.
So the next
and the book that you guys recommended before to us, the Louise Hay, she explains all of that, the lower back pain, sphere, etc., etc.
Oh, yeah.
You guys talked about her in the first session.
That's how I learned affirmations with Louise Hay back in the day. They were a little cheesy, but they worked. But it was so funny. One time I was playing them in my car on the way to work. I have to tell you this. This is so funny. And as I was driving to work, 7:30 in the morning, I'm playing my Louise Hay affirmation, and I'm like saying them. And then one of my friends, I saw her at the office when I got there, and she was cracking up. And I walked in, and she was like, "I drove past you," and she was like, "You were just cheesing, like driving, like just." She was like, "She said I was just so cheesing." I'm like, "Good, that's great."
So before we move to the next thing, I want to make one more quick comment. This to Daniel. Man, I've loved constantly following your healing journey, knowing you like a year ago when we started the Maegical stuff, you were the first one in, and where you were to now you finally finding joy and healing all that. The only thing I would say was listen. So like what we've said today, even if, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if there ever is just a little step back, that's okay. Just know you're always moving forward no matter what. Don't let it, because we could, just like you heard, we all do it. I've done it. She's done it. We've all done it. We'll get like down on ourselves because we think we went back, but you didn't.
Because I've done this since ayahuasca, because I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I was like, 80% healed, and now I'm finding out I'm only 60% healed, and it was hard at first. But I'm like, but wait, it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Like 7, 8 months ago, you weren't even 60% healed,
And dude, keep documenting it, Daniel. Keep documenting it. Keep talking about it. You have such an incredible story in you, and there's so much more of it left. I'm so excited to be part of that. So keep talking, keep documenting it.
Yeah.
So the next part I wanted to talk about was kind of the importance of making time every single day, like it is a absolute, like it's necessary as breathing, making time for yourself every day and going within for time with you and your higher self, God, source, whatever resonates with you, and create, and also on top of that, creating a sacred space, like a specific space that is just sacred to you and you go to, and you can just zone in and do your thing. We took our 3rd bedroom, and at first we created a meditation room. Then
that was awesome.
Then Megan started learning Reiki and having clients, so we turned it into a meditation / Reiki room. And then the podcast took off, and we have all this now.
So now it's a Reiki / podcast room. But we have a little meditation area in our bedroom now.
Yeah, so now we have this, and that's the thing, it doesn't have to be, if you can have a whole room.
And even if you can just meditate for 5 minutes, if you can work up to more, great. But I'm just saying, even if you're in a hurry or you
Yeah.
didn't wake up on time, even if you just take 5 minutes, that's enough.
And it doesn't have to be, if it can be a whole room, that's great. But if just a little corner, little
It could be
space.
a closet.
It could be a closet. Like something that is special and sacred to you that you can go
Or
to.
get out in nature.
Nature, yeah, something like that. Does anyone have sacred space they use or any comments on that?
Yep. I'm in mine right now.
Are you? Oh, nice. Oh, I love it.
I sit on this, so I meditate.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've cried many times right here in this corner.
That's good.
That is good. That's how you heal.
That is literally the soul's way of processing those those dense feelings, those hard feelings. Like, and it's,
my cry at ayahuasca was so deep.
Deep sob.
I've never heard anyone cry like
It was
that.
literally a 7-year-old girl that was sobbing in ayahuasca.
But
Aww.
I got so much healing, and that's when I
Yeah.
realized, like, oh shit, crying is actually good for you.
I mean,
Apparently, puking your guts up.
it's a whole nother thing. But and this is important. It's important for us all to know. But there's been this kind of stigma around men and crying and all that stuff. And, you know, and Joel, I know you know this, but it's just so important for any men that are listening, because we're putting this all over the place on all of our accounts and for our groups, that crying is so essential. That is part of how if you don't process it, that energy has to go somewhere, and it ain't going out. So where's it going? Back in, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any kind of like, so I know, well, meditation is part of it, but like any kind of sacred space or thing you go to, like Kim, do you have a place you go to each day, or do you have a little space, or do you just, you don't have to, but do you have like a system or something?
Yeah, I love going into nature. I feel something with the prana, being in the fresh air, being able to look at how crisp and beautiful the leaves are, looking at all the intricacies in the leaves, looking at the beautiful sky, God's creation. You know, there's something innately in our primal instincts that needs that connection to Mother Nature. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't get out into nature. You can have the sacred space ever indoors, but nature is where the heart needs to be to heal. To that extra.
That is huge. That's an awesome point. And, you know, with all of this too, we're so conditioned to focus on the external, and any of us can slip into it. If you get too focused on that, you'll get up, you'll go, you're always going to have stuff to do. Everyone is always forever going to have things to do, a to-do list. So if you get so caught up in going external, and you don't make that time to go internal, that will definitely be a kind of a little on, if you're trying to find inner peace. This is all about that journey to inner peace, and to really have and try and continue to gain that inner peace, you have to go within. You have to make time for yourself. You know, in her meditation, you said, fill your cup up first. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a huge part.
I mean, if you want to be your best for other people, you need to be your best first before you can be your best for other people too, you know? And people forget that. People forget that.
It's so easy to give to people when you're overflowing with love because you're fulfilled.
And you know, what I learned, you know, once I got out of medical software sales and started getting into like my purpose-driven work, I learned that the hard way, because I was putting so much into other people and leading other people's guided meditations and doing this, that like I was just like, oh my God, I am like running myself ragged, because I'm not spending that time with myself anymore. And oh man, that was a wake-up call. I was like, I have to do me first. Then I will be at my best, which is what they deserve. Like I'm doing them a disservice if I'm not doing that. Right?
Yeah, we all learned by and when she started doing life coaching for all the employees at my company, Defend Your Home, she started doing life coaching for all of them. She was helping a ton of them out, but we didn't realize it kind of crept up on us. But she was making no time for herself. So she was creating routine after routine and taking people through this incredible meditating.
Well, and I'm an empath. Like I was just drained, or I would take other things on, and it was but you learn as you go, and now I know.
Yeah,
an interesting fact that has to do with that. So there was a psychologist, and they were put into the military division. So all the soldiers were telling the psychologist their PTSD stories to kind of help them heal, you know. And what they found was a lot of the psychologists started to take on their symptoms of PTSD because the stories were so vivid So it just goes to show that us humans, we're so empathetic that when you hear people's stories, it really can take a toll on you. So you have to be wary of what you can and can't handle. You know, if you know that you are very, very empathetic, maybe it's better not to service that certain person or associate with that certain group, because you know, or you may not realize it's going to really deeply affect you more than you might think.
And doing protective, you know, even if it's like before you walk out your door, doing like a quick 5-minute, you know, protection meditation, you know, something like that. Even if it's like you pull up to your work and maybe you're working, unfortunately, at a place that like there's some toxicity, right? Because people listening are I'm sure gonna resonate with that, unfortunately, because I've been there. You know,
you've been in sales, you've been in one at some point.
Yeah, you've been there. Especially, commission sales, you've been there. But like pulling up to the parking lot and just like taking 5 minutes in my car to just imagine like enveloping myself in the light, right? And grounding myself. And just before you even, sometimes because I'm so empathetic, sometimes before I even go to the grocery store, if I'm going to Whole Foods, I got to do something before I walk in there because I will feel things and it's insane.
Especially since ayahuasca kind of like opened up all these other gifts in her, and it's like it's good, but it also makes her much more vulnerable to all these other.
I'm learning how to manage
emotions.
it. I didn't know how to manage it at first. Like if I would, I went to a world market during the holidays. What? First mistake.
Oh.
But like, and this is when I was really after ayahuasca, like my gifts were opening up that it had been, I guess, dormant apparently, and this really rude, unfortunate lady rammed into me and was not nice about it, and then kept walking, and then like all of a sudden I started sweating profusely. Like it looked like I was in a Bikram yoga class, and I'm not exaggerating. Like I'm talking like profusely sweating, and my clothes, like I could have like gone like that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in public, I had makeup on.
Yeah.
And that was something that I know how to manage that, but in the beginning I could not manage that, and I don't know if that had anything to do with me getting my Reiki attunement at the same time, but that was crazy. And so I learned I have to protect myself. Before and after working with clients too, before and after. What, Kimberly?
What exactly was that came off of her onto you when you had that encounter?
Girl, I don't know. That would happen a lot though. After ayahuasca, that would happen a lot. Anytime I would be in a public place, if there was anyone that apparently was going through something and needed kind of healing,
rage or anger in them.
Energy stuff, because it's like maybe I needed to do Reiki on that person. Like I don't know, but like now I'm at a point where I'm not going through that so much anymore, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah. And this is what's important on that topic too, is especially nowadays, not to get too much into specifics, but as there's a lot of information of what's going on and all this craziness, there's going to be times for the rest of our lives where there's going to be conflicting informations, no matter what. This isn't the only time it ever's been. It's going to be more in the future. And that can be such a disruptor to inner peace. And, because that's what we're trying to, this journey to inner peace, right? What I have found, there's two parts that I've found to be really helpful with gaining, maintaining, or getting back to having inner peace in moments throughout your day with all of this information out there. Take the information, no matter who it's from, whether it's whoever, anyone, me, whatever, not necessarily take it as fact. Go within and look for, see if it resonates, and go within for your answers, right?
But question everything.
Right. Question
everything that you've been told in life. You need to think for yourself and question it, and go within and find your discernment. But question everything.
Yourself.
What's that?
Trust yourself, because you know, your higher self knows that gut instinct initially.
That's been encoded to
that, and then the second part to that is, and I think this is actually more important, having ultimate faith that everything is going to work out for your highest good. You may not understand it, may not feel like it right now. There's going to be moments when it doesn't feel like it, every day sometimes, but everything is going to work out for your highest good. There is a beautiful plan for everyone listening. You're on this call for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. We're all in this age of growing together and evolving together. Everything's going to work out. Trust me, I am insanely curious, and I'm also like an extremist. So I'm always like going to the extreme with like, well, I want to know everything possible. Like, and she is not an extremist. No. I absolutely am. So I go straight extreme. So I have to like calm myself down and go within, not just get caught up in one thing, but keep going within. And then no matter what, reminding myself that whatever the answers, whatever the truth is, it's going to be okay.
And the more we work on ourselves, the more that it's helping the collective.
Yeah. That's huge.
Like people that are like, oh, this uncertainty, I'm enjoying it because I get all this time with David. So I'm like, I kind of living my best life over here. But there's a lot of people that aren't, right? That are like super like in that fear frequency. And it's like, man, the more of us that can take this time that we've been gifted, in my opinion, to go within and do our self-love and work, like it literally helps the collective soup, if you will. And the more that we can add positivity and loving energy to the collective soup, then the more it's in our favor for a best possible outcome with this whole situation, whether you believe in a conspiracy theory, whether you believe in the disease, the virus, whatever it is that you believe in. What?
Just think back to Joel's analogy about his shoulder. What happened to him? It's the same situation with the collective and our fear consciousness. If we're all feeding into that, just like Joel attracted the shoulder, we're going to attract more things of panic, more things of fear.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. And that's actually one of the foundational reasons we wanted to do this each week. We also have a genius partner of Maegical, who's Sean, who's on here, that recommended it also. But the more we thought about it, we're like, we truly believe in our hearts that we create with our thoughts and feelings. There's a divine plan. We're co-creators is what we believe. We're co-creators. But there's a divine plan, but our collective consciousness is so important. So if we can get on each week, and I love Daniel's story, and I love that he's been on since the beginning. I love when he gets on here. We're blessed to have Laura with us. Incredibly gifted, great stories. And
she is amazing.
I specifically reached out to two people, Kim and Joel, because I was like, man, these two have such light, and they're such incredible vessels. And I know in our community and where we're going to publish this stuff to, they just naturally have messages that are going to come out that could help the collective. Like, I just know it. So the whole point of why we're even doing this is, yes, I love collaborating. I love staying connected. I think we're all part of something bigger that's going to be occurring that is beautiful for everyone. But it's also to impact the other people and help our collective consciousness. If this talk that we're going to publish everywhere can impact one or two people and help them think better, they can help someone else think better. And it creates this powerful ripple effect.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome. Go ahead, Daniel.
Since we're talking about inner peace, I want to give a shout out to A Course in Miracles, a foundation for inner peace.
Oh, really?
Is what it is.
Okay.
And it has totally transformed my life.
Oh.
From the time I started. And if you want a guide to inner peace, it's excellent. It's a 360, it's a year-long
work. A Course in Miracles. That's what you said.
Yes, A Course in Miracles. Yes.
Yeah. I've heard it.
And it's a foundation for inner peace. That's the whole idea of the course. Is to bring you inner peace.
How long have you been doing it?
Oh, 25 years.
That's awesome.
But I just started redoing it. I just started rereading the text and redoing the workbook and going through it again.
There's a lesson a day?
A lesson a day for 365 days.
Yeah, I love that idea. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
I think you just gave me an idea for some content coming up. Maybe I'll do this on a course a day or something. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
David, when are you going to run out of content? If I was like, oh, I'll never run out. So I'm like,
I'm just a muscle man. It comes, You guys know how it is.
Yeah.
Well, cool. The next part that I wanted to go over was, and I actually have to give a shout out to Kim on this. I made a post last year, and it was like, cut out the negative people in your life. There's toxic people. It's important to cut out the toxicity, which is true to an extent. If it's very victim and it's draining you, that's important to do. We've all felt that. But there was this beautiful comment she made conflicting what I said, and it was right on point. It totally made me rethink everything. And you can comment more on it, Kim, but she said something along the lines of, it's not so much about cutting people out as it is becoming the vibration and frequency that you authentically are, and it will, they will end up dropping off because they don't resonate with you. And can you comment on that, Kim? Because that was so good. That still sticks with me a year and a half ago.
Oh, I'm so glad it did. Yeah. it's basically what I've been saying over this entire call all the time.
Who's disagreeing with me? Oh, she's right.
It's back to that frequency thing again. So, you know, it's literally, it's invisible, but it's real. It's real. Frequencies and energies, your thoughts, your words, your vibration. We are vibrating right now, but we're not really here. We're vibrating cells, you know? So when you start to elevate your vibration, you're eating better, you're associating with different types of people, you're in a high level career, you're having self-worth, you're having confidence, your vibration is raising, and people who are low vibrational, not that they're worse than you or anything, it's just a frequency that they're resonating on currently, they just can't, they're not gonna align, and they're just gonna fall off and go on their own path, and you're gonna go on your own higher path, which is the key. And it's so much better to hold that thought of, I'm just gonna elevate myself, and oh, I have to get rid of this person, because that's so hard, that's such a task. It's so draining.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, I thought that comment was awesome. It was like just, and in regards to inner peace, we all, I'm sure, I know we've all either dealt with or are dealing with people that can like kind of disrupt our inner peace a bit. And, you know, I'm not going to go too much into it now. And,
I'm not going to name names. I'm just kidding.
But, you know, for me, so Joel's been horrible. No, just kidding. Unfortunately for me, a lot of that was my family, which, you know, is still a thing that every now and then I admit I still struggle with a little bit every now and then because they were so close growing up. But then I had this, I guess you call it an awakening of sorts. And I kind of realized everything I've ever been taught was either wrong or for an agenda that wasn't authentically me. And I started not believing differently than what my family believed. And it was such a powerful disruption that we just had to part ways. And it is what it is. And it's, you know, there's sad parts to it. You know, there's parts of my family that I was so close with. But it was such a different alignment, and there was no give or take. There was no understanding on the other side. There was no potential accepting of different beliefs, you know? So that's just one example where there's a big post I'm going to do at some point. I'm still getting my thoughts together on it. And this is not talking bad about families. This is not talking bad about, I think family's important. And if you have a good, healthy one, that's great. But I've found in a lot of cases, family's been so toxic. In some people, it can be toxic. People hang on to it because it's family, and they keep this toxic, controlling relationship because it's family, rather than, unfortunately, just letting it go and get with what I call your soul tribe, or these other family members that you're drawn to because you vibrate the same with for a higher purpose. And I've found, unfortunately, in my case, family has been a big thing that I've just kind of let resonate away.
No, I love my family.
Yeah, I'm talking about my family.
And my family's amazing. But I do resonate a little bit with that because when, you know, I started learning the law of attraction and then doing plant medicine, you know, doing all these things, I definitely do have some family members and some different things I used to be very close with that think that I'm on the wrong path. They think that I'm into things that are like not of light, right? Which is crazy because I'm just like, I couldn't be more of light than I am now, you know? But, you know, I resonate with that because for me, growing up, and again, my family was amazing and I'm so blessed to have had them, but it was very much, I always had to care about what they thought. I was so worried.
That was her biggest thing.
Even in adulthood, you know, and something so silly as something like this, when we were getting married, and this is not to call anyone out, but they're not even listening, but when we were getting married, I don't think, maybe they are. When we were getting married though, what was it? No, we registered for a honey fund because we didn't need a lot of stuff. And it's like where you can like people, if they want to just give you a gift card or something, right? I'm like, it's convenient for them and it's convenient for us. Like they don't have to go shopping for us. They just give us a little gift card, whatever, if they want to, right? You don't have to do it if you don't want to. And they called me up telling me that it was white trash to be asking for money on a honey fund that I need to register like old school ways. And I was just like, what the heck? Like even something like so silly like that, they were still very conditioning. And it was like, I had to, oh my God, I don't want to upset them because I'm doing a honey fund. Like come on now. You know what I'm saying? And so many people live their lives trying to please other people and not being authentic to themselves. And it's like, look, I have discernment and I need to like trust myself and know that. And it's sad that they don't realize that about me, right? Because I can discern that if something feels right or if it doesn't feel right, you know? But it's like, I kind of, for a long time, didn't even like use my own discernment because I cared so much about what they thought. And I'll tell you what, ayahuasca set me free of that.
Yep. Can I share something?
Yes. Joel, I can feel Joel's just been like, oh.
I had this, I don't know, like this download, like this breakthrough thought, probably about a month ago. So I got with some of my friends and we had this circle and they were playing like didgeridoos and sound bowls and we're meditating and it was just really powerful. It's like when the virus first started and we did a meditation together and like a prayer for the world. So we did it. I've only met, I think, like one or two people in the room. The rest of the people, I had never met them before. And obviously they had never met me and they hadn't met each other. So we were all new people. And when we got done with the meditation and the sound bowls and all that, we all had this feeling that we were family. Like it felt like we could just express ourselves and we were very vulnerable. And I shared some stuff that I've never even shared on social media and I've been very vulnerable. And it was just very deep with people I don't even know. And then I had this realization and it was this, I always talk about the ego, how it's like, that's why ayahuasca showed me, like the ego is always stopping us from living our true authentic life. Basically the ego is, it's almost like infected what family is. Family is supposed to be a sacred union, and we let our family like judge us or we judge each other. We can't openly express ourselves. So then we have to go and express ourselves to someone else, or we'll go and we'll do drugs or drink or do different things because we don't have anyone to talk to. And I know like we're talking about going within, which is awesome, but also, you know, I don't want people to get misconstrued. Like we are human. We are supposed to connect with people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So my thing is like, I want to start raising awareness on this, like that we need to restructure the way family is made. Like imagine if it was like husband, wife, and then the kids, and you guys were sitting there in like a circle and you could just express yourself with no judgment and just give guidance like you're a mentor. That's what ayahuasca showed me, and that's what I had from this experience with these people, is that we have to restore the sacredness of what it means to be a family, and it's to be open and transparent and loving. And, what is the word I'm looking for? Compassion. There we go.
Compassionate.
Yes, that's so good. That's so true.
What'd you say, Kim?
Oh, no, understanding. I was just pivoting off what he said because I had a similar situation, and what my revelation with that was, it was something small and silly, just like Megan's. You know, I was on a path of eating healthier, and on one side of my family, they were actually offended by me not wanting to eat their food that was drenched in terrible fats and all this stuff. And I was like, why are you judging me and pushing me away instead of loving and accepting and understanding my choice? That's not love, that's your ego. And it's also your personal insecurities coming out to me. You're upset that you're not on this path, so you have to project that onto me to make me feel bad about my choices because you're feeling bad that you haven't made that change yet. And I feel like that's where a lot of those family things come out.
Yeah.
And you drop that kind of realness on some people and they're like, it's just too much. It's just too much.
They can't handle it.
It's all about, do you want to live in reality or do you want to live in a delusion?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, Joel, man, that's huge. Restructuring the way, that is massive. That's a TED Talk. That's awesome. No, it's so true.
I finally got my TED Talk. Thank you.
You're looking for a sign. There's your sign.
Thank you.
That's awesome, man. Because I felt that so at my core, just because of how my family went, and you know, some of hers to an extent, and it blows my mind too. Because I'm like, okay, so you're saying plant medicine, all this is bad, yet it's healing thousands of people and thousands. So you're telling me it's bad that she healed her PTSD. So the bad person.
My whole life. That's what's like mind-boggling about it.
Yeah,
like,
she's been sick for 40 years.
And it's like, what? Like,
and now that she's healed, they're like, nope, that ayahuasca's evil. And I'm like,
or like, so like one of my cousins who has suffered depression and stuff, and he's in college, but we were offering our mindful and Maegical coaching group for like $11 a month, so it's super affordable for
anybody,
people,
right?
Anyone. And we're like, he's a college kid. It's $11. I would never ask him to pay me $100 for something. But I'm like,
and there's something to when you pay for something in the universe, you get
right. But his aunt, I won't mention the name of the aunt because I have multiple aunts, but the same aunt that did the honey fund thing told me to refund him because she's like, doesn't support what we're doing. And we were literally helping him. By the way, he came anyway for free, but I'm just saying, craziness. But you know what? You got to just let those things go. Just let them go. And it's like you keep, like Kim said, vibrating high. And eventually, if they should be able to see that you were living your best life just by the way that you're living. And being authentic and being compassionate, like Joel said, being loving rather than from ego, me getting defensive back, and like it being a trigger for me because they're treating me this way, but to like, okay, take a deep breath and like find the compassion in me, right? And hopefully they'll come around. I mean, they love me. It's not like they don't talk. We don't talk, but it's different than David's situation, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. And Joel, man, hey, if you're working on that stuff, no obligation, but I'd love to help out or whatever, because I'm super passionate about that too. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing, because family's where it starts, for good or for better or for worse. It's where it starts. Laura's son, Joel, your son, man, they're going to be so in a beautiful, healthy, mental, soul level place because they have parents, and nothing against other parents by any means. I don't mean to come off that way, but they have parents that are just compassionate and non-judgmental and loving and truly wanting.
I wish my parents would have taught me affirmation.
Not putting their agenda onto their what's best for the little one, whatever his soul's, and they're there to guide and support and take care of. That's so awesome.
Well, for me, I learn a lot from my son.
That's awesome.
The last time, again, I just keep referring to ayahuasca because it's so awesome.
Oh, I could talk about it for years.
It showed me a vision of my son, and like he just likes to dance and just be free. And it said, oh man, I don't have it here anymore. It just said something like, watch the child and dance like the child dances. In other words, what it meant for me was just to be free and be more like a child, especially in times like right now. We're so caught up in the virus, this, that. Like, let all of that go. I look at my son and he's just happy. And some people would say, oh, it's because he's ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. But I'd rather be like that, honestly, than be like, oh my God, am I going to die? I can't go outside. I got to cover my face. Like,
well, dogs and kids, they have the ability to constantly be present in the moment.
Yeah.
They're just present. You know what they know? Right here, right now, in this second, all is well. I am safe and we're talking.
Balls of love. I love animals.
And that's something too, being able to really, the journey to inner peace, I think one of the foundational parts of it that goes along with this is constantly trying to work on yourself so that you can come from a place of love. Because
or so you're not triggered and you're not affected when someone might be super negative and you're like, oh my God, it finally you're like, I've had it. And and now your energy's off.
Oh yeah.
Because I still work with that where I'm like, okay, I need to get to the point where like that crazy annoying girl doesn't affect me anymore. Like I'm still working on it, guys.
Yeah, I feel you.
I need more ayahuasca.
It's really, it's crazy. It really does. It peels away layers and it gets you closer to being your most authentic, loving, compassionate self. That's important. As hard as it is, if we can all work together to be aware, self-aware, and do things to help us continue to remember to come from a place of love and non-judgment, we're going to be so much more peaceful.
Because we are all connected. It's
we
like
are all.
That crazy annoying girl is really just me on a different part of this journey, right? So it's like, I need to have compassion. It's like, what is going on in her life that I don't even know about that's making her act that way? And so
that is,
right. Even the people that have abused me, like that was a big thing, and part of my healing was with my stepfather being able to actually think about it, well, what happened to him to make him so evil and so just awful? What did he go through to make him like that? And that was a huge turning point for me to be able to have that kind of perspective on it.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of traumas and things, it's hard to get out of your own way. So Aya is that tool to just help you get out of your own way when you can't see.
Yeah, it's like she lifts the block. There's this blockage, and it's like she opens that door, and then it's like, whoa, I'm feeling it all. But then you release it all, which is the best part.
And that kind of ties into the next part with all of this is I cannot stress the importance and foundation for peace of forgiveness, and how that's just everything. It's
You gotta
forgiveness,
forgive
and that's
others. You
so
gotta forgive
hard.
yourself.
Gotta forgive yourself. Yep. Other people-
Laura's working with me on that too. Yep.
Forgiving. That's one thing I had to go through too. Again, not just to talk about the family stuff again, but my parents didn't. My mom's amazing. She's still like close to me. My dad, who I was super close with, didn't come to my wedding. He called all my family members and told them I was into dark stuff because of the psychedelics.
Told them not to come to our wedding.
So they didn't come to the wedding. Like everyone missed it, and they tarnished. They had this crazy torn up reputation. Now, while I was like partying and making horrible decisions with drinking and drugs in New York, they were best friends with me. But once I got into plant medicine and psychedelics and kind of started to awaken, they thought because of the conditioning that was way worse and tarnished my reputation.
It's so sad.
And
it's
they
like the
still to this day, I'm not trying to rant on it. I'm getting to a point. The point of that is, as bad as all that was, them not coming to my wedding, my dad's never even met Megan. Doesn't know anything about any of this. It's crazy.
He knows.
No one knows you but never met you. Nothing like that, right? So a lot of my family doesn't. I actually, one of the things that, this was actually a mushroom ceremony that helped me realize this, but part of my evolution, which if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I've done it probably about 75 to 80%, which is a lot further than what it was, is fully forgiving my dad, fully forgiving my family for not coming to my wedding, for talking bad about me and Megan, who they've never even met, like fully forgiving all that. Even when they don't want to be forgiven. So forgiving people that don't want to be forgiven for your own inner peace. And I thought I did it 100%, but then every month or every couple months, I'll be like, ooh, something just stung there about it. I'm not all the way there.
And forgiving yourself, I'm telling you right now, because I held on to shame for so many years, like guilt and shame. And that too, God, talk about, that's a killer. Like that will manifest as sickness in your body too, like how Kim was talking about in the beginning of the call. So it's so important to forgive yourself and just saying it and writing it down. Like, I forgive myself. I'm human. I love myself.
Yep. Anyone have any forgiveness examples?
To forgive is to overlook.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that.
What you thought happened didn't.
Wow. That's good.
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
So if you look at it that way, there really isn't anything to forgive.
Wow.
It never happened. It's in the past, which doesn't exist. So if you're in the present moment, you can't but forgive.
That is huge.
I love it.
No,
What are you saying, Kim?
no, I'm just saying beautiful. He's spot on.
Yeah, that's good. I love it.
That's mind blown me for a second there. That's awesome, because is that from A Course in Miracles?
Yes.
Okay.
That's so good.
Hey, can you send that to us on a message over here so I can keep it, put it on my mirror?
Yes.
Daniel.
Thank you.
Well,
Here.
Daniel, could you type that you want him to type it in the chat?
Or we can send it out in an email.
We'll email it. Daniel, that was amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Message me that. I'll email it.
Just
That's
send
awesome.
it to us, or put it in the link. We can.
That's such a cool concept. I love that, because it's not here. That's it. That's awesome. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel.
You're welcome.
Well, look, the last little part I was just going to go over, and then we actually were already over on time anyway.
We're always over.
Always over on time.
Always.
Was, like I said in the beginning, the journey to inner peace, it doesn't end. You can find peace. Absolutely. First of all, know you can find peace. Know you're loved. You can find peace, all of that. But don't get hard on yourself if you fall back a little. And it's so important to set systems up in your day. I know we talk a lot about morning routine. We talk a lot about evening routine. We talk a lot about setting up systems, because we're all habitual creatures and the subconscious runs so much of our mind.
David loves schedules.
That's where we're opposite. She doesn't. I do. I'm like, all right, these are the times.
I like him to an extent. He's an extremist with everything, even with schedules.
I'm most efficient in that way, or else I'll just have energy going in multiple places.
I'm just like, okay, I eat lunch. During the quarantine, I eat lunch from 12 to 1.
But yeah, just look, it's a battle. It's a journey. It is literally a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. Celebrate the small wins and I love how much self-awareness we've heard on this call from every one of you. Celebrate the small wins. Know you're loved. You are peace. You are love. You can find that. Go back, feel it, and heal it. Create a sacred space. Go out in nature. Make time for yourself every day. Practice forgiveness, even when it's hard to do that. Become what you want to attract into your life.
But what you eat, what you put into your body too, is going to either give you anxiety or contribute to your peacefulness as well. So
that's a good point too. Yep. So make sure you're putting good stuff in your
high
body.
Fruit, organic fruits, vegetables.
Fruits are super healing. But
we're conditioned to believe that they're not. Like the sugar in them's bad, yada, yada, yada. No.
Yep.
I'm just going to.
That'll be next week's discussion is food. We'll do that. How about that? Awesome. Does anyone have any closing statements they want to say?
Yeah, I have two.
Okay.
Hopefully I remember both of them. So the first one is lately I've been, I've taken a different direction in my business and it's going very well. But whenever you start a new business, a lot of the times you don't have a lot of income coming in. So that's been something that I've been dealing with, and it's been causing me a lot of anxiety. Like, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, I'm working on the business, but it's not going to come for a few months. So that's been messing with my head. So there are these times that I get so caught up in my anxiety and everything that's going on in the world that I don't have that inner peace. So the other day, I meditate every morning. I went really deep. And when you get to that place that is so still, to me, that's connecting with God. Like, that's when I am experiencing and feeling God. It's like this whole world inside of me. So my thing, when I'm going through those times and it feels like I'm alone and like God's not there, I'm like, maybe God isn't even real. It's not that God left me. It's that I was so caught up in everything that's going on in the world that I didn't find that stillness. So we have to return to the stillness every day, and we have to seek that. Because if you have that stillness, you can move through any storm that life gives you. You will be still. That's why for me, I love the Buddha, because that's what he represents to me, is just like stillness. Whenever anything's coming, just be still. Someone that I grew up with the other day, he's actually a pastor. He said there's a story in the Bible where I believe it was Paul. He walks out onto the water and Jesus is telling him, like, come to me. And the moment that he stops looking at Jesus and he takes his eye off of the goal and he loses his faith and he gets caught up in the waves and the storm, he falls. So what he was saying is you have to keep your eyes on the prize, right? You have to stay focused. You have to search for that stillness every single day. So that's been helping me. And yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I love that.
That's great. Yeah, because it's not that God leaves us. It's more that we can cut off our energy flow, right? Like and by, like you said, being still and going back to the breath and quiet, that's how we are able to reestablish that connection.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Bill. That was awesome. Does anyone else have anything before we close out? All right. Well, thank you all so much for being on here. This was awesome. I can't wait. Yes. We recorded everything, so we're going to get it. I'll send it out to you guys. I think both Kim, Joel, I know you guys both have a YouTube and big on Instagram and stuff like that. But it's just good to save and have out there, whatever you want. Thanks for being on. We're going to be doing these every week, so feel free to come back. We love having every one of you. Thank you, Laura. Daniel, thank you. You gave me a great idea for some solid content, so I'm going to be getting A Course in Miracles and talking about each chapter.
Good.
I'm going to be doing. Thank you, Daniel. And Kim and Joel, as always, love having you on. Laura, for having me.
Thank you guys for doing this.
Y'all have
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Love you all too.
Happy healing.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a pleasure speaking. Remember, stay blessed, stay prayed up. That's your protection through all this chaos.
That's right. Stay prayed up.
Yes. Thank